Hello. I want to make a video for Sandy. I haven't heard from you in a while. I don't know what's going on. Are you doing okay? Is everything okay in your life? Is your dog okay? I'm a little bit worried because you said that you were worried about your dog and you took her to the veterinarian, and so I don't know how this has continued. I think she was doing better initially, so I don't know how she's doing now. I hope she's doing well. So I'm sending infinite love and healing to you and your dogs. And I'm infinitely grateful that you are there. An angel soul who understands me, who understands how I feel. It's beautiful weather outside, really nice. I love the way the sun shines into the needle trees. The shining surface of the tree needles. So beautiful. This Douglas fir tree. Beautiful. Love it. I love the sun. I love all the beings around me. The papa dog on the couch. I love my perfume oils. They make me feel better. I'm drinking a lot of watermelon blended in a blender. Just watermelon blended. I think Paul doesn't even add any other liquids into it. No, not even water, because they have such a high water content. All you need to do is you chop it up, you put it in the blender, you blend it, and you have the most delicious drink in the world. Very sweet and very, very amazing, very refreshing. You can put ice cubes into it, and it's the most amazing and refreshing drink you can possibly imagine. And the health experts, they said that watermelon blended, if you drink that every day or eat watermelon, you just eat it with a fork and a knife, but that's too much trouble. I prefer to drink it and have it in my big tupper cup and drink that while I'm on the internet, while I'm writing or doing my artwork, and it feels really good. And I recommend to other people to do the same thing. Instead of soft drinks that are loaded with toxins, get yourself a blender. You can get a blender for like $10 already, or $15 on Amazon or Walmart. They have amazing blenders. I have one from KitchenAid, I think KitchenAid, and another one I forgot what the company name is. Paul gave that one to me. So, and I think he paid like $10 or just a little over $10 for those, for the other ones. And they're real quiet and really cool, really, really wonderful. They have a gray lid, and the container is made out of durable plastic and with a thick handle out of durable plastic, clear plastic. And the base is also gray. It's very great. And it works very well. And it's easy to clean. So everyone can afford that. Everyone can do that little bit of kitchen household work, of washing that blender and blending up watermelon or cucumber or any kind of delicious raw fruit or vegetable. And it's fantastic. And you can also make your own salad dressings. Trader Joe's, they have these real fresh salad dressings now that are absolutely fantastic. They have a lot of garlic in it, and they're just blended vegetables. That's all it is. One avocado salad dressing I got, one mango salad dressing. Both tasted absolutely fantastic. Loaded with garlic, real good for you. You pour this onto a salad or shredded vegetables. It tastes absolutely gourmet. And that's all the body needs. If you eat a big plate of this before you go to bed, it is a sustained, self-sustainable, timed released fiber and all natural sugar release that, full of fiber, full of bulk, that releases the nutrients gradually as it is being digested, and it takes a little longer to digest, longer than like any kind of white flour bakery stuff. Pizza is white flour that digests in a very short time, and then the blood sugar drops way down. So if you eat something that's very high in fiber, that's also very low in fat, then you have a very nurturing, sustained, over a long time, over many hours, release of natural sugars and natural nutrients that are very, very nurturing and good, and that feed your cells. So that's what you need in order to repair anything in the body. So don't eat white sugar or white flour. Eat whole foods and vegan. Very important for the health. Very important. This is not a fad. Okay? This is a lifestyle that feeds you, that every living being deserves, every cell deserves. Very important to mention this. This is not a fad. This is not some political movement. This is health. Okay? This is for our health. This is also for making the world a better place. It's getting hot. I'm gonna take my jacket off. This matches my t-shirt. It's pretty cool. Listening to Jiddu Krishnamurti discussions in Brockwood Park, England, 1978, with Dr. Narayan, Dr. Rahula, and Dr. David Bohm, together with and a German lady, German Buddhist scholar lady, and Jiddu Krishnamurti. They're sitting in a circle and talking about perception and about whether making choices is necessary. We make choices, I can buy a Play-Doh in this color or in a different color. I can make a choice between that. Or I buy both. But when it comes to what he means is there is no choice, that is in regards to perception and action of compassion. If it comes to compassion and living with love, then there's no more choice. It's not like here is love and here is acting out neurotically. I'm at the fork road. Now I have a choice between acting out neurotically, which doesn't make the world better. It makes the world more neurotic and causes more suffering. Or I choose love and compassion and altruism. So there's no choice at all, okay? The only choice, it's not a choice, the only path is towards love and compassion, okay? So in the same way that if you're standing in front of a stove in a kitchen and you have an electric hot plate on, you have that on 3 or something, and it's pretty hot, it's pretty darn hot. So you can also say, now I have the choice of touching that with my hand or not touching it with my hands. That's not a choice. You don't touch it. So the path towards self-protection. Okay. And if we are attuned and tuned in to life around us and into the infinite cosmos, then it's the same thing. We don't hurt another living being, just as you don't touch that stove. Just as you protect your own cells, you protect the cells of another living being as well. And it's not a choice, it's just, it's the compassionate path. So, I hear a lot of people, they'll say, oh, he made the wrong choices. Well, that's not really a choice, actually. It is people end up in prison with violent offenses. It's not really the wrong choice, like, oh, what should I choose? Hurting this person or burglarizing or meditating? They didn't even know that such a thing as meditation would be there for them, would be an option, when they're facing whatever needs and wants and painful unconscious emotions and so on. So the kind path, that's not a choice, this is the only path. The same as meditation and inwardness, going within oneself, is the only path there is. Every other act out leads into a demise of the person himself or herself. taking drugs, drinking alcohol, any amount of it is not a choice. That's not the path. That's not an option. It's not an option at all, actually. Not an option at all. If that sinks in to people, if that would just really sink in, then the world could become a better place. Just by that alone, people would say no to drugs. That alone would, I think, reduce suffering by over 50%. That alone. So, also, don't eat meat anymore. Stopping meat will make the world a better place. Okay, will eliminate suffering by over 60%. Not going to war, not signing up for a military, or letting oneself be groomed by a militia or by a religious agenda that turns people against someone else, against another group of people. Saying no to that kind of stuff will make the world a better place by over 70%. Okay. Just putting this out there, some perspective on what we can actually do with our lives. People will say, oh, I can't do it because because whatever, childhood pain, or because no, those are not excuses. I have childhood pain too, real bad. Real bad. I have been treated very cruelly. I have been psychologically abused in a very cruel way. Very cruel, but it's unconscious. It wasn't, it's not like they knew what they were doing. They didn't know. Very unconscious. So, caused me a lot of pain, caused me a lifetime of suffering, excruciating suffering, excruciating jealousy, and feeling inadequate, and feeling ugly, and feeling not pretty, and feeling freakish or weird, or all of this. That's terrible suffering caused by childhood pain. Then when I look on the internet and I see someone is very successful, someone relates to other people, someone is very loving and warm and understanding and full of life, joy, and happiness. And I see the parents shown in their videos, and the parents, I can clearly see the connection. The parents, even though they do have some emotional problems and all of this, but what's there is total love and compassion is there. So if you love your children, they will turn out to be finding their path, the only path. They will, against all odds of society, they will find, society adds to the suffering. It makes it harder for us to find our own path. If society is on such a wrong path, with such a wrong influence and peer pressure and all of this. But someone who has compassion, because the parents were compassionate, they will not derail into extreme suffering for themselves or causing suffering to others. They will not derail into drugs, particularly not in a way where they end up dying on the drugs. So they will probably test things and try things out, but their inner voice will be loud and clear because the parents were loving. The inner voice says, no, 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 this is not happiness. So the inner voice knows what's right and what's wrong, in spite of deviant values from religions and so on. I talked about it yesterday with Cheryl, having grown up probably fundamentalist. They talk about Jesus all the time and going to heaven and the afterlife and fear of hell and all of these things, But Cheryl, the caring, deeply loving person and angel soul, she knows better than that. Even though she accepts that, doesn't really question it. The society, the negative religious aspects of society and all of this. But she will ignore. That's why they call it, cherry picking. Of course, if you care, you pick the good and not the bad. And if we're smart, we question societies, authorities, religions, dictatorships, and so on. We question it. We openly, consciously question it. But very few people do it because part of that oppression is telling their children not to ask any questions, because the dictator doesn't want to be questioned. So that's why we need to question him or her or them, society in general, a whole religious group in general, whatever oppressors they are. So have to. This is our duty. This is our responsibility for others, for ourselves, for our own well-being, for all of our well-being. We need to question things. So most important, if I can put all of my monologues into one condensed meaning, I can say, please question everything. Just to put it into one sentence. That's all people need to remember, really. Question everything. Including yourselves, including your own agendas, your act-outs, your neurotic act-outs, your neurotic fantasies and wishes and so on. Question it. Find out where it comes from. And never hurt another living being ever again. Yeah, that's my message in my videos. Write it on a piece of paper. Question everything. Never hurt another living being again. Go into meditation. Go within yourselves. You cannot imagine how that will improve your life. You cannot even imagine. You cannot imagine what will come out of this. What kind of new people you're gonna meet, and you're gonna meet your dream partner, you know. Maybe your choice of your internal image of what your dream partner is, maybe that will shift. Okay. Maybe if you're a 20-year-old guy and you thought you liked only teenage girls that are underage, and you go into meditation, that perspective will shift, and you will heal, and then you have a different dream partner. The dream partner will be a girl, a woman of your own age. Men who touch girls that are underage, particularly those that are like 14 and under 14. I mean, the younger, the more vulnerable they are. If you touch those, you ruin their entire lives. Don't do it. Allow these kids to be kids. Allow them to figure things out on their own. Let them come into puberty on their own. Let them become adults. Let them make their own decisions. When I was a teenager, I had a crush on Robin Williams because he often played comedy roles. The clown, a caring, very deeply caring clown, very deeply caring man, and I could feel it. I could feel it energetically. I felt safe with him. I felt like if I was his friend, he would never molest me. He would never force me to do anything that I don't want to do. So later on, I made the connection of all of this. Then I saw he's an animal rights activist too. So he had a real tragic ending. He suffered from depression, very severe depression. Clowns often do. The clown that will make everyone feel good. Jim Carrey is another one. At home, you know, they sit down and you start crying. They sit down, sometimes just stare at the wall. Because they give and give and give and give. And what comes back at them is hateful, ice cold laughter. I don't know if my videos can reach people, so it will probably reach very few people only. But if it reaches some people, that will be worthwhile for me to make the videos. That will make it worth it. To me, making a video is like meditation. It's contemplation. It is meeting with my friends, even though they are not there. They're just imaginarily there in the tablet. The sweet friends are in my tablet. And I sit down together with them and I form something with Play-Doh. And I talk about making the world a better place, and it feels good. The haters, what I want to say to the haters is, if you hate my videos, you don't have to watch them. So I don't feel like I'm imposing, because on the internet you can turn the video off. You don't have to watch it. It's not like I'm intruding into someone's home. You can watch the video or you cannot watch the video. You can turn it on or you can turn it off. It's in your hands. So if you don't like a video, you turn it off. You watch someone else's video. If I can reach a hater with my videos, that would be wonderful. If I can help you realize something, that would be amazing. And if I can help you transform your life and heal yourself from the past wounds and from the physical problems and all of this, if my information helps you, then that would be fantastic. And then we're on the path together to make the world a better place. And that's what I want to do. I feel like that's what I have to do. Otherwise, I feel like just a clumsy burden. I'd feel like a maggot otherwise. And there's nothing wrong with maggots. I feel like just an eating blob in the world. So if I do something to make the world better, then that's a wonderful thing. Okay. So then the food that I put into my body and brain will actually do something productive, in making videos or artwork or sewing. That's what life is all about. It's about making someone else feel better. I see a lot of people that feel inadequate, that feel ugly and insignificant. See a lot of people on the internet. It's the vast majority. It's 99% of people. You see it. I feel for them. I know what it feels like. I feel the same way, but I want to become conscious, and I don't want to act my frustration out on someone else. And I don't want to act it out neurotically in any way. I don't want to go under the knife. I understand why women do it. I don't want to go under the knife. I don't want to do it. even if I get wrinkles, and I have wrinkles already, and wrinkles and unwanted flesh uh, in the wrong places or something. No, I love all of my flesh, even if it's old. But like flesh that starts to go out of proportion. That's what happens to older people. Yeah, it's a gradual process. That's why the movie stars go under the knife, because their bodies and faces are their assets. That is what they have made money on. They are the end product. Losing that is not just cutting down into their income source, but it causes devastating emotions, particularly if they have put all of their emotional gold into one basket and into that one basket. Well, I've never been in that basket in my entire life. My brother he was a photo model for a while. And I talked about this before. The photographer said, "Don't you have a sister? I know you have a sister." They knew my parents. And my brother said, "Nah, my sister doesn't look very good." And it's not true. When I was 19, I was cute. Definitely. When I was 19, I got a lot of guys after me, a lot on the street. I walked on the street, they would grope me. I mean, I didn't like that at all. But obviously they wouldn't be doing this unless they thought I was cute. So I was cute. No, it's not the case anymore. I know that. Okay. And it's difficult, It's difficult to go through this, getting older. It's very difficult. So I have a lot of girl haters out there on the internet that come after me for looking old. My message to them is enjoy your beauty, enjoy your youth, and please leave the heck other people alone, okay? Please do me that favor. Older women are already suffering enough, and they're very aware of this, painfully aware, including those that won't admit it publicly. There's plenty of those too. They're like, "I know who I am." Like, no, okay, deep down, if someone calls you sir or bro or whatever, dude, it will hurt you too. It does, okay, because it hurts your self-image, of being the lady or whatever. So people should admit to this. That's also the very first step is, let's admit, I would have never insulted an older woman when I was young, when I was 20 and younger. Never. I felt I would feel sorry for them. I never do this. Never say something mean, like you look old or whatever. Never do this. I have always been the one who has been hated and mistreated psychologically. So in the past, I've been mistreated out of their jealousy, And today I'm mistreated because I don't know why, because they think they can hurt me and I don't defend myself or something like this. I've never understood that. Why someone would hurt someone, deliberately hurt someone's feelings or body. I never understood that. Never understand this. But thank goodness I can't. Only the person, the hater herself or himself, when you go into meditation, you'll find out why you're doing it. You'll find out what's underneath. Okay? Don't shy away from it. If you deny it and run off, you just make your life and everyone else's life even worse. The only path, the only choice you have is sit down in meditation with that. Yeah. Take something that's going on. In primatherapy, we would only go into our feelings if something triggers us in the present time. But you can sit in meditation, whatever there is. Just if you feel good, you sit in meditation every day. If you don't feel so good, you sit in meditation. If you feel terrible, you sit in meditation. You make it the same time every day, like 5 p.m. in the afternoon. You sit on the same spot for an hour. Do that. Just sit there and allow whatever comes up. A lot of people, they couldn't stand it. They could not stand sitting. A lot of people can't even stand sitting still like this for 10 minutes because enormous shit will come up. The shit that they have been running away from that is pushing up even harder. The more you run away from something, the more you suppress something, the more it wants to push up. It's like being in the river. You're holding onto a rock. Your strength will not hold up for very long, and the water will push you over the rocks and over the edge, down the waterfall. Okay. So that's why we need to go into meditation every single day and do it. And so I'll be happy to help someone and assist someone psychologically. As a friend, I can't do it as a counselor. I'm not a counselor. So, but as a friend, sit down in meditation, and if something difficult comes up, don't resist it. Allow it to talk to you. And after the hour is up, you can set the stopwatch for that. It will beep after the hour is up. You take a notebook with a marker. That's the easiest thing to do. That's very fun. That's what I do. And you write down what went on during that session. Write it all down. And if there's something troubling coming up, you can talk to me about it. I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to condemn you. Okay. So that's the time to release all of this tension and past memories, childhood trauma and abuse, feelings of inadequacy, insignificance. We all have it, but we act it out differently. Okay, so even the real pretty young girls have these feelings. Why do you think they starve themselves? Many of them have starved themselves to death because of a self-image, because of an idea that was fueled by society. Calvin Klein, he has corpses in his cellar for that. That's why I don't buy his stuff anymore. I just can't. When I see that name, it's like, no, I don't even buy the imitation perfumes from Calvin Klein anymore, or any clothes or any accessory. I refuse because he had commercials like in LA on large billboards, commercials for his underwear and his perfume, of starving women hanging over on the floor like they're drug addicts, or they just gave themselves a heroin shot or something like this. That this had even been legal for him to put up on a big poster like this for everyone to see. This entire, not just posters, but this entire fashion movement, hugely fueled by Calvin Klein and this thin movement. But the reason why these girls latch onto this in the first place is because they have not been loved by their parents. If they had been loved, like Bindi Irwin, they would ignore this. They would dismiss that as sick and ridiculous. That's the difference. Okay? So their inner voice would see this for what it is. Unhealthy and neurotic. The girl that hasn't been loved, she will fall into that hook, line, and sinker. And she'll look at these girls and she will think, now, those are the beautiful girls. So they want to become like that as well. And when they see themselves in the mirror, it becomes distorted, like a distortion mirror, where they act